So yeah, hello everyone, and welcome to the world of fraud and deepfakes. Last night, actually, I was refining a little bit the talk for today because what I would like you to understand from it is some concrete examples. We're going to have 4 of them and 2 live demos in which you're going to see how deepfake works, and you can also take it back home to your company or colleagues, friends, and so on, so that you can show them what they might expect from possible attacks and fraudsters. Okay, now it works. So, who am I? I'm George. I'm currently managing the operations within fraud and cybersecurity at ING Bank in Belgium. And yeah, we are interacting with all sort of frauds, scams, especially on the financial sector. So yeah, today I would like to share a chunk of that from the deepfake, focused on the deepfake world. Now a little bit about ING. We are a Dutch group headquartered in Amsterdam. We are serving around 39 million customers worldwide. We have over 50,000 employees. And what I'm mostly proud of is that many years ago, the company decided, the top management decided to move from a traditional bank towards a tech company that I would say we are today. And 1 out of 3 of our employees is currently working in tech. And I'm, of course, one of them. And yeah, before I'm going to dive into the cool stuff of the deepfakes, I wanted to go a bit through the fraud, social engineering, impersonations, and then see a bit how new technologies like deepfake are helping fraudsters to actually achieve more of their illegal goals. Now a bit about fraud. Unfortunately, I think everyone here in the room knows someone or knows someone that was at a point a victim of a financial fraud. And unfortunately, these numbers are only going up because, of course, most of the fraud that we see today is happening on the digital channels, and they are targeting a lot, of course, social media, the applications for communication, emails, but still, for example, phone calls are still a big chunk of financial fraud, and less and less face-to-face interaction, because this of course exposes the fraudsters and puts them a bit of at a higher risk of being caught. And when we're talking about fraud, we always have a flavor of social engineering involved. And what social engineering means is, of course, manipulating someone to give you a piece of data or to make an action that will eventually go towards a financial loss, if it's, of course, a financial scam. And this is usually combined with an impersonation. What they usually do, they will try to impersonate an employee of a service that you're using, or, for example, some law enforcement or a lawyer or anyone that you might give a level of trust, and then kind of lower a bit your defense so that they can social engineer further towards their goal of scamming you. And this takes us to the deepfakes, because this adds a technological layer to this whole ecosystem of scams. Because basically, before they would just call you, and it will be the voice of the scammer, but now it can be the voice of someone that you know, and someone that you trust. And we're going to see that further on in the examples. But in a nutshell, what are deepfakes? Deepfakes are computer-generated audio, video, or a mix of the two, so an audio, video of another person that can be real or can be generated. Because in some cases, the fraudsters just need a random face so that they will not expose their identity. So they will just use kind of a real avatar that is actually not a real person. And as I said at the beginning, I will focus the talk around 4 scenarios. The first scenario, it's a quite complex one, in which it's a hypothetical one, in which the fraudsters are going to target a corporation, a branch of a corporation, and by using deepfake and an impersonation of the CEO, they will try to pursue and convince one of the senior accountants to make a 7-digit transfer into one of their mule accounts. And for the ones that don't know, a mule account is basically a bank account that the fraudsters are controlling. And there are various ways into getting that. It can either convince someone and pay them to open a bank account because they are not aware that this can be used for illegal activities, or hacking someone and using their bank account without them knowing. And they usually use this kind of mule accounts, of course, to take the money on different routes to try to kind of lose the trace of the money. And at a point, get them out or transfer them into crypto and so on. And for this one, I'm also going to show you a demo, two demos actually. And I'm also going to show you how a deepfake would look around 1 year ago and how it looks now. Because the technology and, of course, computing power and so on are increasing, and it's a bit scary to see kind of the evolution of how it used to be and how it is today. And the second one, it's actually a quite new one, I would say, the audio deepfake, which is a bit on the rise in the United States, unfortunately, in which the scammers are taking an old scam that used to be an accident. It was called an accident scam, where they would just phone call your parents. Probably some of you are aware of that. They will just phone call, for example, your parents, saying that, yeah, John was in an accident. He needs quickly $1,000 to make a blood transfer because otherwise he might die, and things like that. And before, they might even like physically go to your parents and take those money. And yeah, that was kind of the scam back then. But now with the technology, it kind of added 2 extra layers. So what they're doing, they will actually call your parents with the voice of John, so with the voice of their son, saying more or less the same thing. And we're going to see also some, a demo on that and how it actually works. And unfortunately, besides the deepfake, we now have also fast methods to do a quick transfer. I don't know, it can be Zelle in the United States, it can be Revolut here, or other local ways to just make a payment in like 2-3 clicks. And they are taking a lot of advantage of that because they will try to put you in this kind of state of panic, in which you are just focused on like saving the other person or like saving them from that critical situation. So you might not think about anything else, but maybe after you did the transfer, you might already realize, oh, wait a moment, this sounds a bit like a scam. And then the third one will be a quite elaborate scam as well. This is unfortunately a real one, where they use the deepfake as part of the attack. Basically, what they did, they targeted a big company. They targeted some specific engineers that had admin access, and by using deepfake, they lured them to apply to some job interviews. They actually had the whole set of interviews, and at the end, yeah, they sent an injected PDF. Unfortunately, it was open on a corporate laptop, and from there, I think at the end they lost around $600 million estimation. And the last one is an investment scam. This is very popular, and probably most of you saw different variants of it on social media, in which they will create a deepfake of a famous person that will tell you, and they will pay some ads on social media platforms. And yeah, basically the person will say that, yeah, this is the future of investment. You put $100 today, you get 10,000 in 24 hours. And when you put your credit card there, they take the 100 and they take also the rest of the money from your card, and you will not see them again. And yeah, this takes us to the first scenario. As I said, this one is quite complex. So usually an attack like this will take maybe even 1 year of preparation, in which the scammers basically are doing their research. In this hypothetical scenario, they are targeting a corporation. And they are focusing on a branch of this corporation because it's a small branch. They have a lot of money in their account. They have fewer people, so they can get all the information via calling them, emails, maybe even some physical surveillance. And they found the people that actually have access to make a 7-digit transfer. They looked into them and they found something interesting, that one of the accountants actually has a picture from on the professional social media with the CEO from a few weeks ago at an event in Oslo, let's say. And now that they know that there is a small relationship, I mean, the victim knows the CEO, then they will try to exploit that. They choose a perfect date when, yeah, maybe some people are away for holidays, or it's maybe a more stressful period in the office and so on, and they initiate a video call to her. And the video call first, it will look a little bit like this. In this, me and my colleague, we generated a real-time video output that can be used in on a jailbreak device, for example, to actually initiate a video call. And imagine that you're in this situation. So you receive a video call from, let's say, the CEO. The CEO tells you something like, probably, they will call you by your name and so on. We are having a very serious situation. Please go to a meeting room because I want to discuss with you. And then, the CEO will continue something like this. I saw you like 7 weeks ago in Oslo. I know that you are, I trust you. I saw that you're a serious person. I think that you have a future in this company, but today we really have a crisis. We are having an audit here. The police is also here. That's why I'm calling you from this other phone number. I'm not calling you from my phone number because we need to quickly make a 2 million transfer. And please don't talk with the other people in the office because your boss, John, he's also being investigated into this. So please just don't tell anything. Go to your desk, take your laptop, come back here. I will just turn off the video because, it's faster just to talk. And because I don't have a bad signal or things like that. And then, let's say you are the accountant. You go, take your laptop, come back. And the CEO will continue like, okay, now I'm going to give you the bank account, and we're going to make a bank transfer together while you're with me on the call. I will maybe also send you an email, so like that you know that everything is clear, so you don't have any problems and so on. They will maybe try to invent a thing like, because of this audit, they're looking also at our email system. So maybe the email went into spam. Can you please check it? And they will try to spoof the email address, sending maybe like a fake email from the address of the CEO, let's say. But this is maybe if the accountant doesn't fall directly for the fraud. And imagine that you're in this kind of situation. You're the accountant, and what do? You make the transfer, you don't. Fortunate for this type of scenarios, if they actually do the transfer, depending on the bank account to which they are transferring it, it might be flagged by banking systems because, of course, there's a lot of anti-fraud running in the background, and a transaction like this, usually 7 figures, might get flagged, so they might get lucky. But it might also happen that a transaction like this will pass, and they will basically lose the money. And what I want to show you now, it's a small demo on how, for example, we can generate some videos like this. And the first one will be just a simple one. So I'm using an open source. I will show you in a bit the name. So like that, you can also use it back for some examples in your company or with your friends. And okay, for the first demo, I'm going to use this video. It's a video with my colleague, so I'm using my face, so just one image. And the video with my colleague that is playing the role of the scammer in this scenario. And I'm just going to start compiling it. Usually it should take around 120 seconds, but if it doesn't, I will show you exactly how the video looks in reality. It already generated a small preview. There are many solutions out there. This is one that I installed on my Mac. So if you want to play with it, you can find it on Git. You can install it and then play a little bit with it. And I chose this solution because I'm going to show you after that another example in which I'm rotating my head. And then I will show you a solution from a year plus ago, and you're going to see a bit the difference, how it actually evolved. And this is always a problem if you're in this situation like the accountant. How do you actually react? Because on one hand, they have a lot of information, especially for a targeted attack like that. They will know all your colleagues, they will know your habits. They might even know that, your boss calls you, your name is Johnny, and the boss calls you John, for example. So they will know all these small details that will not make you think that this is a scam. And they will always have a perfect scenario like, I'm calling you from another number because, I've been in an accident and my my phone was destroyed, or I'm calling you from the victim's phone, or yeah, I'm calling you from another phone because we have this audit in the office, and they will always find a very good excuse. So like that, you will not be suspicious of why someone random is calling you from a random phone number. So yeah, it should take probably like around 20 seconds more, because I want to show you that, yeah, you can generate this basically on any kind of device, and you can, of course, further integrate it for a live call. Unfortunately, if my colleague would be here, we would show you with a jailbreak device how actually this would work, and that would be a bit more cool, but unfortunately, yeah, limited resources for today. But you can play, of course, with these kind of things at home. And yeah, basically, this is kind of how it looks like. So this is a generated video. It took like 2 minutes on my MacBook, and yeah, it's quite good, I would say. It's not perfect, of course. If you spend more time, you can make it better and better. But what I want to show you now is another example on how it will actually look like if we rotate the head. So I'm going to inverse the roles with me and my colleague for this one. And then we're going to generate it. Yeah, in this video, I'm rotating my head. And before, this was a bit complicated, and it will glitch. And I will show you in my slides back how it looks like. This one, yeah, should take around 2 minutes as well to be generated, and you're going to see a bit of difference. It already generated a small preview here. And yeah, after this example, I will show you the audio deepfake, because that one is actually very interesting. And since we see that it's on the rise in the United States, I'm almost 100% positive that it's going to come also to Europe and kind of worldwide, where they basically clone the voice of someone that you know. They will exploit this kind of relationship between two people. And yeah, will put you in some, let's say, very critical situations. And this currently is being applied on the personal side, but I will show you an example that applies to your professional life as well. And I see that as a big threat for the future. And I prepared a demo for that as well. Okay, it should take 30 more seconds for this. If it takes too long, I will show you the one that is already compiled. But I also wanted to showcase that, yeah, you can install something like this on kind of any device. You can run it, and it's not rocket science. And yeah, the video looks a bit like this. And as you can see, it's a bit yeah, impressive how the head rotation goes. It's almost like no glitch. And yeah, as I said, this is really a very basic setup that I have here. So I'm running it from my Mac, no dedicated GPU and so on. And now, going back to our presentation, this is a bit how it looked like around 1 year plus ago. So as you can see, you could kind of identify, if you had some sort of mechanism maybe to identify deepfakes, if you make them, okay, rotate your head, and then, yeah, the scammer will now say, oh, okay, no worries, yeah, you see, I'm real. So yeah, around 1 year and a half ago, it maybe would look a bit like this. And probably we're going to have more and more realistic and more easier to actually generate this kind of deepfakes, and in more real time, simplifying the whole process for, unfortunately, for the scammers. And yeah, this takes us to the second scenario, the one that, yeah, I would like to focus a little bit on this one, because, as I said, I think it's coming and you should be aware of it. First, I will explain how this scam works on the personal side, because they kind of evolved this accident scam into this scam by using audio deepfake. So they will usually do some automated crawling on social media, and they will find people that, let's say, share too much information there. And in our case, the mother unfortunately had on the social media also, yeah, family relationship, had the full name there, so it was easy for the scammers to collect data from a few data sources and find her phone number. She also shared a lot of posts with kitties, so they knew that she likes kitties. So they initiated just some random calls that can even be generated with AI, asking some just random questions just to have her voice for around 1 minute in order to have a very good model. And yeah, basically after that they just build the voice model. They do a bit of a research on the sun to see what would be the fastest way to get the money. As I said, I don't know, in the US, it's Zelle. We have here Revolut that you can pay with the link. It might be even a crypto if they see that, I don't know, the sun is into crypto. They might be using also like a fast method to transfer via a crypto exchange or a crypto app. And then they will initiate the call. And they will call the son with the voice of the mother, saying like creating this panic, saying that yeah, John, I was kidnapped. They are asking quickly for $2,000. I'm calling you from their number. They also already SMS'd you the link to pay. Quickly, just do this payment because otherwise they will take me, John. I don't know where they're going to take me, John. And they will try to put you in this kind of situation where you don't really know, and you're like, of course, you want to save your mother. So that's the first reaction. You don't think about anything else, and. It's actually a video, maybe some of you might have seen it, with a similar scenario where the son actually asked the mother some personal information, I don't know, whatever question was. And then because the scammers, they are really good at this. I mean, they were doing this before without the voice, without anything. They would convince someone. So they are very good and they will always give you a fast answer to any kind of doubt that you might have. So the scammers replied with something like, John, this is something that you're thinking about now. You don't understand that I was kidnapped. These guys are going to hurt me. Just do the payment so that I can be released and so on. So they are very good at social engineering. So it's kind of hard to actually, if you receive something like this, to distinguish if it's real or not, if you should hang up and call your mother to see if she's safe, or it might actually be true. Then they will just send a link with a fast payment, because of course this panic mode, it puts you in this panic mode, but then after a certain time you start doubting, maybe, wait a moment, this might be a scam. And maybe after you did the payment, you might think that, oh, damn, this is probably a scam. But then, the money are out, or the crypto is out, or however you did the payment. And unfortunately, this is on the rise in the US, because I think they're also using some sort of automatization to find these kind of victims, and maybe to generate the voice as well. So it's a bit it's a bit tricky, especially that when you're calling someone, they might also diminish the quality of the voice. So like that, it sounds like your mother. Maybe it's not like perfectly, but they might also add an extra layer like that to reduce the quality of the call, so it will actually trick you. And we see actually a big problem also for let's say the professional life, because this can be easily integrated in any sort of a targeted attack towards companies. Because, as I mentioned, for these kind of attacks, they will always target a group of two people. And for the personal one, they will target family members, maybe friends, I don't know, husband and wife, whatever relationship that you might have. But here they might exploit, for example, a manager-engineer or engineer-engineer. And imagine that you're kind of in this situation when your colleague calls you or your manager calls you saying that, John, we've been hacked. Quickly give me your password because my account has been compromised. They already started doing, I don't know, whatever you're working on. I quickly need to log in. So give me your password and give me approve in Microsoft Authenticator or whatever MFA solution you're using as many times as I need, because I need to connect to a server or whatever, depending on, of course, what kind of scenario and what you're working on. And for this type of attack, of course, this one will be a more targeted one, in which they know maybe a bit about the company and they have a goal in mind. So more or less, they will go through the same path. But for the training, if, for example, the other engineer or your manager might also be speaking at conferences, for example, or might have some videos up, they don't even need to call that person because they can generate their model just by extracting the audio from there. And then, of course, they will have a plan of attack. Usually it's deploying a ransomware or just trying to get some information to have a data leak and then blackmail the company or things like that. And then they will try to get in. And let's hear a bit how a scenario like this would sound like. I don't have, I think, audio fully, but Mihai, this is super urgent. We just been hacked, so this is super serious. And my account has been compromised. I'm calling you from my wife's number because my phone has been compromised as well. The hackers are transferring money as we speak. Quickly give me your password, and when I will tell you, please approve in Microsoft Authenticator, because I really need to quickly go and disable the servers that I have access to, so like that we can stop the attack. So this was me. I mean, it's my voice playing the scammer, and now, I use the deepfake model to just change the voice into the manager, Terry.
Mihai, this is super urgent. We just been hacked, so this is super serious. And my account has been compromised. I'm calling you from my wife's number because my phone has been compromised as well. The hackers are transferring money as we speak. Quickly give me your password, and when I will tell you, please approve in Microsoft Authenticator, because I really need to quickly go and disable the servers that I have access to, so like that we can stop the attack. And of course, for something like this, they might know that, as I gave the example earlier, let's say your name is Johnny, and your manager calls you John because they saw on LinkedIn that your manager commented on a post of yours, like, congratulations, John, and they will start like, John. So they will have maybe some extra information that they gather depending on, of course, how complex this attack is and what they want to get out of it. So they might really have a lot of information when they're doing something like this. Maybe also some internal information that they will go directly and achieve their goal, depending on what is their actual target. So this takes us to the third scenario. The third scenario, as I said, unfortunately, it's a real one. And how this worked, it was, again, a targeted attack, but these guys that pulled it off, they were really professional, a super professional team, unfortunately. And they had this company targeted. They looked at the engineers that had admin accesses, and they started phishing them with some offers from another company, from a bigger company, and of course with very good packages and so on. Unfortunately, one of the engineers got hooked into this. They had several interviews, like HR, technical interviews, and so on. So it was really super professionally done. And at the end, they sent the offer in PDF, an injected PDF, on his corporate account, and he unfortunately opened it on his laptop, and from there on they did a lot of damage, and I think at the end they did around 600 million worth of total damage. And in this kind of situations as well, it's not directly connected with deepfake, but deepfake was used along the way in order to social engineer the engineer to trust them and to make a mistake that, of course, normally probably the person would not do, like open that on his corporate account on the corporate laptop. And so we see also a lot of let's say very complex scenarios in which deepfake only pays a small portion in order to gain that trust, or to get a small piece that will further take them towards their goal. And this takes us to the fourth one. This is a very popular one, I would say. Probably most of you know it, in which they will deepfake famous person. I just hide all the details. This is a snapshot from YouTube. Actually, it appeared to me a few weeks ago, in which basically they were using audio deepfake to impersonate a famous person, offering
kind of 100x profits if you go to this investment platform. And of course, this person will never do something like that. And probably, many people from here saw this kind of scams. Unfortunately, this have been up for many years, but since they're still there, I think they're still kind of fooling some people. And of course, in some cases, you might have a very good deepfake that is done maybe with a tool like this. This is a kind of low budget solution, so they just used an audio deepfake on an existing video. But yeah, I just wanted to add it also here because I think it's still relevant, and probably many of you are aware of it. And now the big question is, how do we actually protect from something like this? So, and this is a tricky one. There's no, there's no holy grail. But I would say that if you are in any kind of doubt, like if you receive any kind of call like this, just hang up and call on the number that you know. Or if, for example, if it's a C-level or a senior manager or whoever is calling you, try to reach his team or her team and try to see how you can reach that person. Or if the local authorities, just call the known numbers, just to see if it's actually true or not. Then the second one is something that also that person from the video that I told you about did, but sometimes they can turn around this question, like to ask someone that, I don't know, only your friend would know. But then if that friend is in a stressful situation, they will maybe kind of turn it around with, you're thinking about this now, you don't understand that I'm blah, blah, blah. So it's actually tricky, even in that situation, to see if it's actually a scam or it's maybe your friend that is really in a stressful situation. So that can apply to some scenarios. And the last one, of course, if they ask for anything like that, like someone asks you, your manager calls you and asks you for a password and your MFA access, or they ask you anything about money, anything about accesses, passwords, anything from that sphere, I would say that 99.9 it's a scam. So it might be a 0.1% chance that your company is hacked and your manager is calling you or your engineer colleague is calling you to ask for that. But the chances for that are really slim. And and how can we actually do it better? And this is something that we are trying to answer, especially on the segment of financial fraud, because as you can imagine, we have millions of customers, and what we're trying to do is to raise awareness. And for this, we are working with the other banks, with the local authorities, with media outlets. We're trying to, we have kind of a team that is trying to put content on the ongoing frauds on various social media and so on, in order to make people aware of what is happening. Because what we see, especially on financial frauds, they're kind of seasons. Like it's the period when you're making taxes, there are going to be some scams targeted on your taxes. It's Christmas, there are going to be scams that are targeting via SMS, like your package is blocked. If you want it to arrive before Christmas, then you need to pay $2 and things like that. So we see, besides various scams, we also have the seasonal scams that are coming almost every year in a form or another. So that's why awareness, I think it's very important. And as I said, what we're trying to do also with the other banks and with the authorities, at least in Belgium, to share the findings and the learnings between these groups, and then try to spread it. So like that, if people are aware of it, then they might not fall for the scam. And to be honest, based on our experience, awareness is one of the strongest and most accessible tools that we have to fight some scams, especially the ones that are social engineering the people to do the actions via their account, via their MFA. So it's kind of bypassing all security methods that you have in place. And this awareness is it's not a one-time shot. Like, okay, I shared with you some things, but as we saw 1 year ago, I might have told you that make them rotate their head, and then if it's glitching, then it's a scam. If not, then it might be real. So then you might have fallen for a scam. So as we see this year, technology advanced, so it's much more easier to generate something like that.
And yeah, I shared some things with you today, but as I said, maybe in 6 months, it's going to be completely different. So we see this more like a, let's say, not like a sprint, but like a marathon. So it's continuous. And yeah, that was kind of my talk. And yeah, I booked some time for questions if you might have some. Yes. Ah.
In the presentation, you had pre-rendered videos.
Yes.
Uploaded them and it took some time. I guess there are also like apps which do it live.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. There are many tools, and the one that I showed you actually it's open source, so you can install it on your own. I can. Oh, yeah.
But the one which you showed is not live, or does it also have like a live
It has a live option. You can integrate it yeah, via webcam, or yeah, you can. Of course, if you want to put it on a jailbreak device and to move the camera from to emulate the camera from the device to your computer, it's a bit more complex to have the whole scenario. But yeah, theoretically, it's possible. Yeah. It has a module for the video, for the live feed as well. Yes.
Thanks for the talk. Do you have, if I wanted to play with the audio deepfakes, is there a recommendation?
I can, if you give me your LinkedIn, I can send you some links. Okay. Yeah, so yeah, you can play. This one is generated with an app, the one that I showed you, the audio one, but I can send you some links, some open source ones that you can use. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Welcome. Oh, yes, please.
So within a bank, are you seeing attempts to use these sort of attacks against like the customer support staff in the bank? Are you taking any steps internally to try and address these sort of attacks? Obviously, you focus more on consumer-facing attacks. How does it work for banks?
Of course, yeah. When we're talking about banks, we have various defense systems. So, of course, we have ways to detect suspicious transactions, and we're building around some patterns around that as well, in order to avoid, even if you are scammed, then there is a high chance that the transaction will be blocked afterwards by us. But yeah, in some cases, if they social engineer you to log in, to make the transfer by yourself, to add a beneficiary and so on, then in those cases, it's quite hard for us to basically detect that. We can just detect that the transaction is suspicious, or of course have a behavior analysis of how this was done, and if it doesn't really fit your profile, it might get blocked. But yeah, the best tool that we have is actually awareness for these type of things, to avoid people getting social engineered into making transfers that are actually fake. So.
What are the insurance complications with this? What are your rights?
Well, when it comes to refunds, it depends on how it was, the transfer, how it was done. It's kind of a complex way of getting your money back in a scheme like this. There are also some extra insurances that you might have in place. So it's this whole depends also on from country to country. So yeah, it's quite a complex mechanism. I cannot really explain it in 2 minutes. So yes.
How well is audio deepfake working in other languages?
Yeah, actually for this, I think that's one of the reasons why it's mostly at this point in the United States. But we see some models that are also getting better and better also in other languages. I would say that now, at least the ones that we played with, works so-so. It's a bit like Google Translate at the beginning. So if you're a native speaker, you will immediately spot it that something is off about that. So you probably will not get scammed. But I think after they managed to make quite some money with this from these audio deepfakes, they will start moving to other languages like the big ones, and then probably also some niche languages and so on. So I think that's what I'm saying. Probably this is coming to Europe as well and all around the world in maybe the next year or so. And unfortunately, what we see is that these scammers, they're making quite a lot of money. So they unfortunately attract talent as well. and they operate kind of like some evil startups. They have their backlogs with the things that they're doing and so on. So it's quite sad that they're getting all these structures and so on from real startups, and they're organizing themselves to do illegal things. But yeah, that's kind of the situation that we're facing right now. Okay, if there are no other questions, thank you. I enjoyed the conference. And anyways, I'll be here till the end. You can add me on social media. We can discuss. So if you can send me a message, I will reply to it. Perfect. Thank you very much.